Welcome back, everyone, to the Vintage Noise channel.
Hello again.
We are jumping straight in today, right into our really pivotal, but actually pretty brief moment in American car history.
A very short but spectacular reign.
Exactly. We're talking about the Ford Crestline, produced only from 1952 to 1954.
And you really need to understand, the Crestline wasn't just another car on the lot.
No, not at all.
It was Ford planting its flag, firmly in the modern era. It had to succeed the old Custom line, and it was really tasked with proving that Ford could build something that looked and felt completely contemporary.
So our mission today is to unpack that really rapid transition. We're going to look at how Ford used the Crestline to signal modernity and a touch of luxury.
And what they were hiding under the skin, because there were some genuine engineering surprises there.
And crucially, how you can tell a 52 from a 54 just by glancing at the front end. It's the ultimate spotter's guide.
Let's start with the positioning, because that's key. In 1952, Ford made this huge marketing statement.
They did.
They completely reskinned their entire passenger car lineup. That pre-war look was just gone.
And their slogan was so bold. The only modern styling in the low-priced field.
I mean, that's a direct shot at Chevy and Plymouth.
It's a declaration of a style war, for sure. And it set up a new hierarchy within Ford itself.
Exactly. The Crestline was established right at the top.
Sitting above the mid-range Custom line.
And way above the absolutely bare-bones, chrome-free main line.
So with the Crestline, Ford was really projecting exclusivity at first, right?
Oh, completely. For 52 and 53, it was very selective. It was only offered in 3 premium body styles.
Okay, what were they?
You had the Sunliner convertible, the wood-trimmed Country Squire wagon, the 8-passenger one,
Classic.
and the gorgeous Victoria hardtop.
Okay, wait. Let's clarify for anyone who might not be deep into 50s body styles. What does pillarless Victoria hardtop actually mean?
That's a great question because it's so key to the look. Pillarless means when you roll down the front and rear side windows, there's no vertical support post in the middle.
No B-pillar.
No B-pillar. So you get this incredibly sleek, open-air, almost convertible-like feeling, even with the roof up. It was pure class.
A major selling point. And visually, from a distance, all these 52 to 54 Fords share that one defining feature, right?
The rear quarter panels, the sculptured panels with the aircraft-ish simulated air intakes.
It just screams jet age excitement.
But that image, well, it came at a price.
Right. Ford was still aiming for the low-priced field, but the Crestline itself was a bit of a stretch.
It really was. In 1953, a Crestline would set you back somewhere between, say, $2,100 and $2,400.
And to put that in perspective, the average new car that year was, what, $1,650?
Around there, yeah. And the average family income was only about $4,000, so this was definitely a premium purchase.
That context is so important.
Okay.
So we've established it's all about image, it's about exclusivity.
Yeah.
Let's get under the hood, because this short period represents, well, the biggest mechanical change Ford had seen in decades.
Absolutely. The Crestline years are when Ford finally retired its famous V8.
The Flathead.
The Flathead. For 52 and 53, your options still included that old warhorse. The 239 cubic inch Flathead V8 rated at 110 horsepower.
So, for anyone unfamiliar, what made the Flathead V8 old by this point? What was the issue?
It's all about the design. Flathead means the valves are in the engine block next to the cylinders, not up in the cylinder head.
Which limits its breathing.
Severely. It really struggled to breathe at higher RPMs. It was durable, sure, but inefficient.
And that's where it gets really interesting, because they also offered another engine.
They did. The newer 215 cubic inch overhead valve inline 6. It was actually rated a bit lower at 101 horsepower. But despite the lower power rating, many people found it felt snappier and quicker in everyday driving.
Because it could breathe better.
Exactly. That OHV overhead valve design was just so much more efficient. It was a clear sign that the Flathead's time was up.
And it officially passed in a really big way in 1954.
That was the headline news. The Flathead was out, replaced by the all-new overhead valve Y-block V8.
The Y-block. Now, that was a revolution for Ford.
It really was. It got the name from its deep skirt block design, which gave it a Y shape from the front, much more rigid.
And the power.
The displacement was the same as the Flathead 239 cubic inches, but the modern design instantly boosted power to 130 horsepower.
Wow, that's a huge jump, over 18%.
It put Ford right back in the horsepower race with GM.
But I understand those first-generation Y-blocks weren't entirely perfect. That's something collectors need to know, right?
That's right. Those first-year 239s had some teething issues, especially with the oiling system.
What would happen?
Well, it sometimes led to premature wear in the rocker arms and lifters, so for modern restoration, you have to be really careful with the maintenance on the oiling system to keep those early ones happy.
And the push for modernity wasn't just the engine. Ford knew if they were adding more power, they needed better control.
Absolutely. 1954 was the year they introduced the modern ball-joint front suspension.
Okay, so what did that replace? What was the old system?
It replaced the older kingpin and spindle system. The ball-joint setup gave you so much more steering precision, less friction,
A more comfortable ride.
and much more stable control, especially at speed. It was another step in making the Crestline feel like a truly modern car.
And really quick, what about transmissions? What were the choices?
You could still get your standard 3-speed manual with or without overdrive, but the real luxury choice was the fully automatic Ford-O-Matic.
And these were big cars.
Oh, yeah. The 53 Sunliner convertible was almost 198 inches long. Even with the Flathead, it could hit a reported top speed of 88 miles per hour.
Not bad at all for cruising down those brand new highways.
Not at all.
So speaking of the Sunliner, let's talk about the pure, unadulterated luxury of these flagship models.
This is where Ford really put its best foot forward.
Starting with that 52 Sunliner convertible, it's kind of the benchmark, isn't it?
It is. It had a new Coachcraft body, and the engineers paid so much attention to that convertible top. It was electric, of course, and sealed incredibly well against the weather.
But the neatest trick was how it disappeared.
It was so clever. The whole mechanism, the linkage, and the side rails, it all folded away completely out of sight behind the rear seat.
Leaving this perfectly clean profile.
A huge deal for style. And the glass was innovative, too. The Curva-Life Safety View windshield.
Just a massive piece of curved glass.
Exactly. It gave you that panoramic visibility and really contributed to the modern, streamlined look.
And the interiors just hammer home that luxury idea.
Foam rubber cushioned seats. And the upholstery came in these four smart new two-tone leather and vinyl combinations.
All color-keyed to the exterior paint.
Imagine it. A Sunliner with light blue leather and dark blue vinyl matched perfectly to the paint. Ford was selling a lifestyle.
But if we're talking about high-stakes glamour, we have to talk about the most talked-about model of 1954.
Ah, yes. The Crestline Skyliner.
The original glass-top car.
The original. It was a special Victoria hardtop with a transparent plexiglass roof insert right over the front seats. Pure visual drama.
And Ford marketed it like crazy. They called it the glamour gal of the 54 season.
And it worked. It generated so much buzz, they sold over 13,000 of them.
It definitely had that aircraft-inspired sophistication everyone wanted, but there was a, let's call it a practical drawback.
You're talking about the heat, aren't you?
The heat.
I mean, can you imagine driving a black Skyliner through Arizona in July?
It must have been an oven.
That was the big complaint. The interior temperature in the summer was just excessive.
Did they offer any solutions, like a sunshade or something?
There were some aftermarket things, but from Ford, not really, at least not at first. It was a classic case of fashion over function, but boy, was it unforgettable.
Which brings us perfectly to our last segment, the Vintage Noise Spotter's Guide.
Yes.
The body shells are very similar across these 3 years, so the front end is absolutely crucial for telling them apart.
This is where the details matter most. You have to know your grills and your parking lamps.
Okay, let's break it down. Start with 1952. What are we looking for?
For 52, look for a distinct, stylized central bullet, a chrome nose cone.
Yeah.
And the key thing is the turn-in parking lamps. They have this 3-blade jet intake look, and they stand outside the main grille opening.
So they're separate elements.
Completely separate, framing the grille.
Okay, separate lamps outside the grille for 52. Now, what about 1953?
For 53, they went with a full-width grille bar. The bullet is still there, but now it's bracketed by 4 black stripes on each side.
Ah, the black stripes. That's a key identifier.
It is. And the small rectangular parking lamps? They're now tucked down into the lower outboard corners of the main grille opening itself.
Got it. So into the grille opening for 53, and then the big change for 54.
Another new front end. You still have a central bullet sort of echoing the 52.
A little bit, yeah.
But it's housed in a really clean, full-width opening, and the lamp moves again. It's now positioned on each end of that horizontal grille bar, making it much more integrated.
And there was new side trim that year, too.
Right? Redesigned bright side trim and new Crestline badging. It's a cleaner look all around.
Now, 1953 has a few other special things to look for, because it was Ford's golden anniversary.
That's a great point. 50 years. Look for the commemorative steering wheel medallion on all 53 Fords.
And wasn't a Crestline the Indy 500 pace car that year?
It was the Sunliner. So you'll see some promotional models with unique Kelsey Hayes wire wheels and maybe a Continental spare tire bump on the back.
Just adding to that high-end feel. And 1954 really feels like the culmination of everything the Crestline was trying to be.
It's the year it finally competed on features, not just style.
Yeah.
Power steering, power brakes, power seats, power windows, all on the options list for the first time.
That's a huge leap into modern convenience.
Ford called them the Ford Fashion Leaders for 54, and those power accessories allowed a Crestline owner to feel every bit as luxurious as someone in a more expensive GM car.
It just raised the bar for what a high-end Ford could be.
It did.
And just like that, after 3 intense years, the Crestline's reign was over.
It had done its job. It established Ford's new image, it retired the Flathead, it introduced the Y-block.
And the ball-joint suspension.
It was a monumental success. I mean, the four-door sedan they finally added in 54 sold nearly 100,000 units alone.
But then the luxury crown passed on pretty quickly. In 1955, the Crestline was replaced as the top model by the Fairlane.
The legendary Fairlane, which took that new standard of luxury and just ran with it.
The Crestline years really show you the sheer speed of change in the 50s.
Think about it. Ford went from retiring the decades-old Flathead in 53 to offering power everything just 1 year later. It fundamentally changed what a Ford was in 3 short years.
It really was the car that brought Ford into the modern era of performance and luxury.
No question.
So as a final thought for you to consider, as you look back at that pivotal 1954 model, the first to offer all those power options, which one would you have prioritized? The power steering, the brakes, the seats, the windows. Which one would you have picked to truly embrace that fashion leader status and make it the ultimate cruiser?